played here. I never thought they'd let me in, but... And I started playing guitar in 1959, and that's about there, somewhere around about there anyway. And I always had this idea about coming and playing the Wigmore Hall, so I'm very pleased to be here. We play a tune that my dad used to really like me playing this tune, so he may be hearing this, we never know. He keeps in touch once in a while, so I'm going to play this tune. It's called Why Did I Choose You?
Years later, historians would refer to it as the Great Martini Spill Incident of 2016.
What on earth are you listening to?
It's The Call of the Wild.
The Jack London novel?
No, the radio show, The Call of the Wild with the Big Bad Wolf. Features music of all genres, everything from rock, jazz, Dixieland, funk, Latin, you name it, as long as it's wild.
Oh, is that nut job who does Lindsay Lohan's Celebrity News and the all-killer, no-filler set?
That's him. Great satire and great music.
Well, he's certainly different.
The Call of the Wild, every Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. on Community Radio for Southern Illinois, WDBX Carbondale.
This hour of programming on WDBX Carbondale is sponsored in part by your membership contributions and by Harbaugh's Cafe. Harbaugh's Cafe is located at the south end of the strip at 901 South Illinois Avenue, featuring their breakfast menu and the bottomless cup of coffee. Harbaugh's also serves salads, sandwiches, homemade soups, and vegetarian items. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. till 2 p.m., Sunday, 8 to 2. Breakfast available anytime, takeout available. Harbaugh's Cafe, 901 South Illinois Avenue in Carbondale, serving breakfast and lunch with a twist. 351-9897.
Support for WDBX comes from Mike's Music of Carbondale. Mike's Music offers services on all stringed instruments from string changes to neck and body repair, upgrades, and customization. Mike's also buys, sells, and trades all types of musical instruments and equipment and offers private, one-on-one instruction for guitar, bass, and piano. Mike's Music at 816 East Main Street in Carbondale or on Facebook, 618-529-3444.
Good Monday morning. It is 10:03 on November 5th. You're listening to WDBX FM Carbondale. I'm Amy Fox, your host with the City of Carbondale, and I'm joined this morning by SIH President and CEO Rex Budde. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
And lots of exciting things happening at SIH. I guess let's start in on nursing program. Recently, there's been kind of a growing number of nursing programs throughout the region, and why is that?
Well, around the country, there's a tremendous shortage for nursing, and we've been blessed to have some excellent programs at the community colleges to provide nurses, but there's a high demand also for a BSN or bachelor's nursing programs, which we do not have. A real well-organized bachelor's program right here in the Carbondale area. We have had a lot of conversations with SIU about starting when Chancellor was, before unfortunately he passed away, he and I had spent a lot of time about getting a nursing program off the ground. Tremendous need for nurses, and a tremendous need to educate our nurses locally. And we looked at last year's class, and I want to say of the nurses we hired last year, the average age was like 28 and a half. So these aren't kids that are high school, going into, getting their 2-year degree, getting their BSN, and then coming to work. These are folks who it's a second career. They've got families, so they need to be educated locally.
And so I'm sure you're doing a lot for recruiting and trying to draw in those young recent graduates from not only the Carbondale area but throughout the region as a whole.
Yeah, we do a lot of mentoring of nurses and work with the various training programs in the region so that the nurses can get their clinical work done in our facilities, and so they can round out their education.
And, you mentioned that this trend is not only impacting Southern Illinois, but it is a part of a national trend. And so are you guys doing any new things to try to recruit new nurses?
The day-to-day stuff, quite frankly, I'm not as familiar with, but I know that our recruiting department goes to high schools to talk to kids about different healthcare-related careers. They go to the junior colleges. We do a lot of the educational kinds of stuff so people can get their clinicals. And we provide support for people that want to go back to, say they may have worked for us as a patient care tech for a while and they want to get their RN. Well, we work with them so they can continue to work and get their education. Because you got to, again, a lot of these people are non-traditional from the standpoint that, they got families to take care of and things like that.
And why is it so important to have good nurses, not only at the hospital, but throughout all of the urgent care facilities and other medical offices?
Well, great nursing care is the hands-on every minute of the day. And they're there with the patients when the physicians can't be there, because they can't. The physicians are extremely busy. And the nurses help make sure that the care is rendered right. They monitor the patients. They notice when things are going south, and quite frankly, they just do a wonderful job of just taking care of people and relating to people. And, without our nurses, it would not be possible to take care of as many patients as we do.
And for a lot of people, their first impression of SIH, for example, is through a nurse.
Right. Nurses, the frontline staff that work with the patients, the registration folks, the patient care techs, the nurses. Yeah, nursing care, nursing communication, all those aspects are critically important to people's impression of the quality of care.
And if we do have someone who possibly is a college student listening this morning and they would like to learn more about the nursing openings that SIH currently has, where can they go to get more information about those?
They contact our Human Resources Department, and in particular, Kristen King handles our recruiting activities, and online. We have an extensive list of the jobs that are open and the ability to apply online and those types of things. So you can do it by phone, you can do it on the computer, and find out what kind of job openings there are. And we are always looking for nurses.
And in addition to recruiting new employees, skilled employees, another important aspect of healthcare is growth.
Right.
And SIH recently has been experiencing a lot of growth, some new facilities, some new developments. If you can share a little bit about those.
Sure. Our mission is to take care of all the people in the communities we serve. And one of the things that I love about our organization is we have close to 4,000 employees that are firmly dedicated to achieving that mission. We're blessed to have a board of directors that is very supportive and has allowed us to expand services and do things like that. Particularly, we're looking at several things right now. The Cancer Center, this is one of those fortunately, unfortunately kinds of deals, right? Cancer is pretty pervasive in Southern Illinois. And a Cancer Institute has been very well received by people in Southern Illinois. It's been open a little over 3 years now. And we're going to expand that facility. We're adding about 15,000 square feet to that facility because it has gotten so busy. And we literally just are out of room almost. And and again, this goes back to our staff. They're amazing. They find a way. So people don't have to go without treatment. So that program is in design stage, going to be approved by the board of directors here next month, and then we'll have to go through the state processes to get constructed.
So we're looking at
18 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 months. Couldn't happen quick enough, though, because the program, again, has been very well received, and it's keeping people from having to travel great distances, which is huge.
And how long has that facility been open?
It's been open a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
And it's just been a huge success, and if you've been out there, it's It's an
beautiful.
amazing place. There's just a certain level of peace and calm in that building, and that, for me, is very special. Very special.
And then you also have the new facility that you folks are building right here in Carbondale, just a block or so away from Memorial Hospital. The partnership with SIH and the university, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice facility for the residency program and for the training of the PAs. So all of those programs will be in one building, which is really great for the physician assistants and the residents, because they're going to work together throughout their entire careers, those specialties. And to have them all in one building is going to make for a really nice learning experience. And for the patients, too. They'll have one place to go.
And how's the progress of construction over there? Every week I drive by and it seems like something else has been done.
Happened.
Yeah,
that's right. No, I can't remember exactly the opening date for it, but I know that they're making great progress. Now, we've had a lot of rain here lately, but they'll be able to work through the winter. They'll be far enough along and all those types of things. So they continue to make really good progress. And you're right. Every time you go by, something new is there, and the steel's up and all that kind of stuff. And it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Right. I was at that groundbreaking, and just the atmosphere there and all of the support from folks here throughout the community was great to see. But it is a really great partnership. I know in the beginning of this interview we talked about the importance of recruiting people and getting them to stay here in Carbondale and Southern Illinois, and so to have something like this that just continues to strengthen that partnership is
absolutely
wonderful to see.
We love working with the school. We see it as important. I think the school is going to be, if you will, on its way back, and all these kinds of things that we can do in the nursing program or with the residency programs and things like that. Everybody wins.
And SIH is currently involved in a number of economic development initiatives. If you can talk a little bit about some of those.
We do a lot of work with one of the things that, actually I have to give credit to, again, to the chancellor. He started this process of having meetings between business leaders and the school, with the concept being, how can the school help the business leaders? How can the business leaders help the school? So we really tried to pick that ball up and keep running with it. And have had a number of different business leaders in the region together to talk about how do we get stronger. And the tendency's been in the past that we compete against each other down here for jobs or for businesses, and really none of our communities are big enough to compete with the bigger communities in other states and even in Illinois. But if we work together and compete together to bring employers to the region, and then be happy whoever gets the job in terms of what community it lands in, because we're all going to benefit when we bring new work and new jobs into the region. And we've got a lot of really good reception from that idea. So we're going to continue to meet with the business leaders and develop this approach to monitoring Southern Illinois as a bridge to the future.
And there seems like there's a focus on population health management. In layman's terms, what exactly is that for someone who maybe doesn't work in the medical industry?
What it means is, historically medicine's been kind of event-driven, acute care event or what have you, and really where the government and other payers are trying to push, and rightfully so, is take care of the whole person. If they've been in the hospital, how do we make sure they get their follow-up appointments, they get their medicines, they get all those kinds of things we need? And in Southern Illinois in particular, that's kind of a challenge, as we were discussing before we came online, is because of our geography. We're not a population-dense area, and because of the economics of Southern Illinois, it's hard sometimes. But it's about just treating the whole person and making sure that they're getting the care that they need beyond just an acute event. It's, the cancer program's a good example. Too many people got their diagnosis of cancer in an emergency room visit. It should never be that way. And we want to get people the right care so they can stay out of the emergency rooms and get their care on a timely basis. So population health really is, how do we connect all the dots? How do we make sure that people are getting all the follow-up care, they're getting their medicines, that we're teaching them how to take care of themselves too. We can't solve the healthcare problems in our country by third parties solving it. We have to, we also have to improve the ability for people to take care of their own health, and that's a big piece of population health.
And have any major changes came out of these discussions with business leaders, with folks from SIH, with folks from the university, or are we strictly in kind of the beginning stages?
It's, the business conversations are relatively in the beginning stages, getting organized. We have some marching orders that we're working on. Everybody agreed that getting the nursing school off the ground would be a good first step for this region. And so that's where we're really focusing our energy. But we're also going to have some other meetings of the development corporations and things like that, and as to how can we work together and not compete against each other, but compete as a region against other places.
And, working together is really one of probably your underlying principles with SIH.
Right. Absolutely. It's we do a lot of work on our community benefits department. It's led by a gentleman, Mr. Woody Thorne, and his staff, and we work with the schools. We work with the various churches in the region. We work with all the health departments. And how do we take these precious resources that we have and maximize the benefit for the communities?
And we are almost out of time, but Rex, is there anything else you would like to add? I know we tried to cover as much information and topics as we could today. Anything else I'm leaving out that you would like to mention? I would, if it's okay, I would like to mention one thing, which is not happy news, but it is news, and that is the passing of Dr. Kao. Dr. Kao unexpectedly passed away this weekend. He's a radiation oncologist out at the Cancer Center, an absolutely marvelous man, and he's just going to be desperately missed by so many people. And he did a wonderful job taking care of the people of Southern Illinois for decades. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask everybody to keep him and his family and the staff at the Cancer Center in their prayers as they go through this difficult time. And if people would like to learn more about Southern Illinois healthcare, is there a good website that they can go to?
Yes, we have a very well-developed website that if they want to go to SIH's website, you can learn all about us. If you got questions, there are contact points where you can ask questions, and we'll get back to people.
Great. Lots of good information. Thanks so much for stopping by this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love it. Love it.
Great. Have a great day.
Thank you.
And we are going to take a short break with some announcements, and we'll be right back.
Good morning. This is Alicia with the City of Carbondale, here to bring you this week's calendar of events. The American Red Cross is urging healthy donors of all blood types to give blood or platelets to ensure a strong blood supply for patients in need. The American Red Cross will be in Carbondale on Monday, November 5th, and Wednesday, November 7th. On Monday, they will be located at First United Methodist Church, located at 214 West Main Street, beginning at 1:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. And on Wednesday, November 7th, beginning at 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., they will be at Illinois Department of Transportation, located at 2801 West Murfreesboro Road. Donors of all blood types, especially type 0, are needed, and your donations would be greatly appreciated. For more information, please call 314-422-8613. And on Tuesday, November 6, 2018, the Big Muddy Film Festival is holding a fundraiser at Fazoli's on Tuesday. The fundraiser will last from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and 20% of all purchases will go towards funding the Big Muddy Film Festival. Be sure to mention the fundraiser and follow the restaurant's instructions. The proceeds that are received will help towards operational costs. For more information, go to bigmuddyfilm.com. And on Saturday, November 10th, 2018, Carbondale Community Arts is thrilled to host the Youth Filmmaker Series at Art Space 304 in collaboration with the Big Muddy Crew. The Youth Filmmaker Series is a day-long workshop aimed at teaching the fundamentals of filmmaking to young creatives in the region. Beginning at 11 a.m. on Saturday, the 5-hour-long workshop will tackle subjects such as film analysis, sound design, screenwriting, and storyboarding. The workshops will be taught by members of the Big Muddy Crew and faculty of SIU Carbondale. The scripts and corresponding storyboards produced at the workshops will be turned into short films to be shown at the closing reception of the Big Muddy Film Festival. For more information, please go to www.bigmuddyfilm.com. For more information on these events and others, please visit our websites at wdbx.org or carbonaletourism.org veterans.org, or you can reach us by phone at 618-457-3228. Thank you and have a great week.
Good Monday morning to you. It is now 10:19 a.m. on November 5th. This is WDBX FM Carbondale. I'm your host, Amy Fox, and I'm joined in studio this morning by Mary Capel. She works for SIU, the ROTC Air Force. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me, Amy. I really appreciate it.
And you guys are gearing up for the Veterans Day ceremony here in Carbondale. The Air Force has worked to plan this commemorative ceremony. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, leading up to the Veterans Day ceremony, we have a joint honor guard from the Army and Air Force ROTC units that will stand a vigil at the old main flagpole on the campus of Southern Illinois University to honor our nation's veterans throughout the generations. This vigil will start at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 10th, and end at 9 a.m. on Sunday, the 11th. One cadet from each unit will stand vigil for approximately 15 minutes and then will rotate with 2 more cadets. On Sunday, November 11th at 2 p.m., we will hold the Veterans Day ceremony honoring our nation's veterans. This ceremony will be held at the Veterans Memorial Plaza on the corner of East Main and Washington Streets in Carbondale. In the event of inclement weather, we will have it at the pavilion across the street. The ceremony is a joint effort between the City of Carbondale and Southern Illinois University. Now, just to give you a little background, Veterans Day was originally known as Armistice Day, which celebrated the end of World War I. Armistice Day is commemorated every year on 11 November to mark the armistice signed between the Allies of World War I and Germany.
And everyone's lives are really busy, but why is it so important for people to take time to attend Veterans Day services like this one in Carbondale?
Well, I think it's important to come out and show our veterans that they are not forgotten and to let them know their service is appreciated. The observance of Veterans Day helps focus attention on the important purpose of Veterans Day, a celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good.
And if someone has never been to the Carbondale Veterans Day service, what can they expect to see and hear? I know you guys kind of have a full schedule.
Oh, yeah. Paul Copeland, who is the coordinator for Veteran Services here at SIU, will give the welcome and closing remarks. We have Amanda Lowery, an Air Force veteran, will sing the national anthem, and the closing will sing God Bless America. Chaplain Jeff Rush will give the invocation. Interim Provost Mira Comagero will give opening remarks, and then myself and Don Scobie will lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor Henry will give the Veterans Day proclamation. Our keynote speaker this year is First Sergeant John P. Okerson, U.S. Army retired. First Sergeant Okerson retired on August 31st, 2013, after 20-plus years of service. He had deployed 6 times in support of combat operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, and multiple times for our humanitarian operations within the U.S. and abroad. Finally, the Army ROTC rifle team will do a 3-volley salute, and Calvin Scott will play taps on the bugle, and the Air Force ROTC color guard will raise the American flag.
And obviously you've spent a lot of time and effort preparing for this ceremony, but why is this event so special to you?
Well, for a number of reasons. First off, I come from a family of military veterans. Both my father and father-in-law fought in World War II. My father fought in the Pacific Theater, and my father-in-law in the European Theater. My husband and brother are both Air Force veterans. My brother-in-law is an Army veteran, and my sister-in-law, who is an Army reservist, just made colonel, so congratulations to her. With that being said, I recognize the sacrifices these men and women have made for freedom along with their families. Many times, families are separated when a military member is sent on temporary duty assignment or deployed. They miss birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and so much more. So both the military member and their family sacrifice for their country. Secondly, we have a decline in our veterans from World War II, Korea War, Vietnam conflict, etc., that we will miss a part of history. Their stories will not be found in history books or documentaries. Both my father and father-in-law have passed away, and I miss hearing some of their stories from the war. Some were funny, and some were sad. They never told about the really bad stuff that happened, as it was bad enough to live through it once. They didn't need to relive through it again. We may not see the scars of battle, but they are there. Some of our veterans served during peacetime, and they too made many sacrifices to ensure our safety and freedom.
And what do you hope the reaction is from the community come Sunday at the Veterans Day ceremony?
Well, being from Southern Illinois, I know that most people around here are patriotic. I hope they come out and thank our veterans for their service. I don't mean just say thank you, but really mean it. Whether you are old, young, or in between, Veterans Day is a display of respect and honor to our veterans and what they have done for our country. Without our veterans who fought for our independence, we probably would not have independence now. They gave a lot to fight for our country, and they deserve our respect and our heartfelt thanks. Veterans Day also reminds me of a song by Lee Greenwood, Proud to be an America. The stanza, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Says it all.
Yes. And once again, we are about out of time, but the ROTC, Southern Illinois University, the Air Force, and the City of Carbondale are teaming up this Sunday to put on the Veterans Day ceremony. And this is an annual tradition that the City of Carbondale has had for a number of years. So we just encourage everyone to come out and to pay their respects to those who have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes, we would love to see as many people out there to say thank you to our veterans for the sacrifices that they have made.
And the service begins at 2 o'clock at Veterans Memorial Plaza. And in the event that there would be rain, there is a rain-out location. Mary, where is that?
That will be at the pavilion across the street.
Okay. And so rain or shine, we'll be out there. Make sure you wear your red, white, and blue. Yeah. And is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe I forgot to ask you. If people do have questions, is there a good phone number or a good website that they can go to?
Well, they could contact me directly, which is 618-453-2481.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add? Maybe I forgot to ask you?
No, I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, thank you, Mary Capel with the Air Force ROTC at Southern Illinois University. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure. And we hope all of you have a wonderful Monday. And I will be with you next week. So we're going to close the show out. And if you missed this for some reason, you can always visit WDBX.org for more information on past shows. This has been Talk of the Town, and I will chat with you next week.
This hour of programming is brought to you in part by your membership contributions and by Arnie's Sandwiches, offering deli sandwiches, soups, and salads daily, including the Macho Man Marvel, Bosque del Bomber, and a selection of gluten-free options. Catering with lunch boxes, sandwich trays, and party subs also available. Arnie's Sandwiches, Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 2031 South Illinois Avenue for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 529-4300. Support for WDBX comes from Cristado's Cafe, Bakery, and Catering, serving breakfast and lunch all day. Cristado's offers fresh baked goods, including cookies, cakes, and pastries, as well as specialty coffee drinks. Catering available for any event. Cristado's Cafe